Welcome to Nooska. Hello, and welcome back to Nooska. It is me, EB, and I am here with Connie.
Hello, I'm back.
Woohoo! And this is episode 2. You guys seem to like episode 1. Thank you so much for all the support so far. And we're gonna twist things up this week. We're going a completely different direction. Last week it was happiness. Great tone to start on. This week,
Twist
dun,
is
dun,
the
dun.
exact word.
It is a twist. It is a twist and a tangle and a mess. We are going to be talking about
Oh my god.
Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue. I don't even know what, like, the most notorious woman in society right now. Like, maybe more notorious even than Kim Kardashian. Like, she's more notorious than Hawk Tuah, I think. Like,
She certainly is purposefully making every kind of name for herself, which
Yeah.
is terrifying.
yeah, every bad name she can possibly make for herself. For those who don't know, Bonnie Blue is she an influencer? I don't even like to call her. I don't know what to call her.
I
honestly.
know that from what I've read so far and from what I've seen, it started at OnlyFans,
Right.
but it
okay.
could be earlier than that for other things. But what I know is that she's an OnlyFans person, and that's
Right.
how she started her stuff.
Adult performer. That's what I'll call her. She is an adult performer who kind of blew up last year, 2024, because she is the woman who slept with over 1,000 men in one day and filmed it and put it everywhere that it could possibly be. I think she actually ended up sleeping with like 1,057 men in a day.
Yes.
And she's pulled all kinds of stunts since, including Bonnie's farm, Bonnie's farmyard, zoo yard, something like that, where it was just a bunch of female adult
zoo.
performers.
It's called
zoo.
petting. Yeah.
The
So
petting
much
zoo.
work.
Yeah. So
And then
that's
she also has this thing called a bang bus, which just is
we're
shocking
gonna
to
have to
me.
talk about the bang bus. Oh my god. It's
don't
like
want
when they
to.
told you, like, don't talk to strangers in vans with candy, they were talking about Bonnie Blue. So that's who we're going to be talking about today, Bonnie Blue, because I think that as much of a kind of like little viral, pit stop joke as she's become, she's actually incredibly dangerous, and she's gotten more and more and more dangerous as time goes on, especially in the kind of social climate that we find ourselves in as women. So we're going to be
What sucks
talking.
is that, like, some people's brains should be studied, not put on display. You know?
She's a good case of that. 100%. 100%. That will not be the only serial killer reference you're going to get today, because we're going to make lots of serial killer comparisons. She's been around for a while, but she hit the news again the other day, or maybe like a week or two ago, because she was in a nightclub here in the UK and she got punched in the face by a couple of women who went to the meet and greet. And I think people have been kind of shocked about that, but it's not really shocking when you kind of look at this new repertoire she's building for herself, because she makes all these like anti-women statements. She says things like women are fat, they're lazy if they don't put out for their husbands. If you're a teenage girl who doesn't put out for her teenage boyfriend, then he has a right to cheat on you. Just like horrific stuff. And she's everywhere. She seems to just be getting more and more popular as time goes on, which is insane to me.
Yeah, for me, it's very much that whole, like, if this was a man and he had men waiting in line to come and talk to him and see him, and some guy come up and knocked him out for doing what she's been doing,
Yes,
we would all be applauding the guy who cracked him.
That's it. That's exactly it.
It's because a lot of the time people think that to do the right thing in the world, you need to be passive and non-violent. But we have learned through history that peace sometimes cannot be made through non-violent action.
Exactly. I'm going to play a clip for you, because I think the big thing for me, right, is it's like we've kind of already touched on this, is the predatory nature, right? So everything that we might have talked about so far, it sounds kind of like Oh, what, right? So like a woman wants to go and be an adult performer. What's so bad about that? It's the predatoriness of what Bonnie does. So, for example, Bonnie right now is on a tour in the UK of college campuses in a
Oof.
blue van called Bonnie's Bang Bus. And she's literally going to like football stadiums where they have under 18s and like 18 teams, 18 to 21-year-olds. She's going to college campuses and she's going to freshers events specifically where there are 18-year-old boys and just pulling up the bus and saying, hey, get in and have sex with me to these young boys.
That to me is terrifying because if she's 25 years old, right? Her prefrontal cortex grown. It's there. It's online. 18-year-olds, barely there.
Not
especially
there.
Especially men with their prefrontal cortex not fully developing until what, they're like 30s. You're telling me 18-year-old boys are being encouraged to be in contact with someone who has made explicitly predatory statements.
Exactly.
And this is nothing on like sex work. Like, we know full well how important sex work is.
Yeah.
Like, that is what it is.
We respect
this is predatory.
sex workers. This is
straight up predatory glorification of a job.
That's exactly it. There's no empowerment in it. It is targeting. It is 100% just like, I'm going to go and aim at children. This is exactly what we pin men for doing time and time and time and time again. So I'll play a little clip here of Bonnie Blue talking about some of her predatory instincts, which should kind of, I think, put everything in a clearer light.
My nephew's 18. He's still a child. I'll send him to me then. No, I'd absolutely never do that. Hopefully I'll find him in my queue one day.
If my son was one of those... and
How old's your son?
He's 18. I'd fucking...
Just my type.
Yeah.
No, that sound sheet, that excited breath in is like what?
Next level.
What do you mean? Why are you excited for a child? What do you do?
And she says this kind of stuff all the time. Like all the time.
Yeah.
She doesn't shy away from
as
it.
like a hee hee ha ha,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe potentially like, oh, you're a bit weird,
Mm-hmm.
but like multiple occasions where she is actively saying she wants to sleep with 18-year-olds like on their birthday. Gross.
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, the way this is done is something that scares me as well, right? Because it's just basically her and a couple of dudes in this van going to college campuses where, news alert, not everyone on that campus is 18. There are kids who go to college at 17. They turn 18 like shortly after the semester starts or whatever. How do we know she's not sneaking 17-year-olds in there? You know what I mean? And these campuses, these universities, they're in the middle of towns. And here in the UK, kids live in these towns. They could just wander onto these campuses. So, like, how do we know she's making predatory statements like this, basically essentially saying the younger, the better. And then she's going into these areas where there are children everywhere. I don't trust that people are being vetted appropriately.
Well, I saw this video when I was doing a little bit of research, and it was showing that like she's done some like explicit content that is designed around her co-stars.
Yeah.
Trying to say this in a very kind light. Her co-stars are dressed in school uniforms, and they are disproportionately aged down in their looks, if that makes sense. You know, they obviously are old enough to make that content, understandably. Yeah. That's why they're in it. But they are looking like they are under the age of 18. And like, I understand that in quite a few countries, even where I am, the age of consent is like 16, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that that's okay. You know, there's an age gap there. There is a predatory age gap. Like, if an 18-year-old started dating 18-year-old girl started dating a 25-year-old man, everyone would be like, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
But when a 25-year-old woman is out there going, oh, I want an 18-year-old man, no one's batting a freaking eyelash. Yeah, and it's like, it's crazy. Excuse me, this is a double standard, like irregular moral compass here that like,
That's exactly
but
it.
she's trying to be sexually promiscuous, let her be. No, that's actually still predatory. Just because she has, she's in an AFAB body doesn't mean that her brain isn't cognitively above an 18-year-old, which means she has more understanding of predatory behaviors and how she can exert those on an 18-year-old without them even realizing.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say that because to your point, I've got a clip here of her on a news interview literally saying that she targets this age bracket because she's educating them. She's educating them. So she's literally angling herself publicly as a sex educator. That's what she's calling
if you guys could see my face right now, I don't know how to breathe.
It's going to blow your mind. It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely crazy. So here we go. Let's go.
Listen to your own words.
No, of course. But now I'll educate you on the true story of it. There is no content online for 18-year-olds or even people that are new to sex. You go from at school, which you learn about how to get pregnant, basically, how to have safe sex. But then they go from watching content online, which is rough. It's schoolgirls dressed, working with adult content creators, which say, oh, no, I don't want this. It's then led into a very rough scene, which is choking, slapping, hair pulling. So are we only wanting our sons or the younger generation to watch that and try and perform that in a bedroom? Because that's dangerous for women.
I think you're misunderstanding my point here, because I'm not saying, of course, I don't want anyone watching rough pornography.
But why do you not watch that? Because that's also okay.
Well, you're contradicting yourself. My point here...
Yeah. So you basically see she's calling herself an educator. She's selling this as this is me giving them education on what to do.
The lady who's interviewing her feel bad for having her own preference on what she would want personally for potentially her own kids or young children around her.
Yeah, absolutely. She's so manipulative. She's so manipulative.
Literally gaslighting the lady on air.
Yeah. This is why I said you guys wouldn't have heard this because we were chatting before the episode, but I was like, she's like Ted Bundy to me. She's like Ted Bundy in a woman's body. It's like
she's got them dead eyes, man. She's got them. Every video I've seen of her actually shocks me every time. Like, as someone who has like very blue eyes, and it is noted multiple times in my life how blue my eyes are. I see her and I look at her and I'm like, oh my God, you are scary. That is terrifying. There is something missing in her eyes. There is no light there. Like moral light. I don't know if there's an actual substance word for it.
Light, I think, like that, like the emotional body is just not back there. It doesn't exist. It's like a lizard or something. It's like you're looking into. It's not even that. Lizards are warmer. Geckos have a warmer gaze than that.
Lizards go out into the sun.
But what's interesting to me about that clip as well, which I know you guys can't see that clip, I will put them all on the Patreon. So if you want to go and join the Patreon, all these clips will be up there. But what's also very interesting about that interview is her body language is very like closed and almost like she's ready to leap or attack. She knows she's in the wrong. She knows what
she's definitely ready to answer whatever comes at her immediately. She's already overthought this in a way that is quite creepy. Like it's constantly. That's where the gaslighting comes in. Like we've all dealt with some gaslighting in our lives. We know how quick to the punch that comes at you. Like she looks like she is ready to come with like all of the answers to everything if she can.
We'll be right back after this quick break.
Hey, quick question for you. Are you someone who wants to be fit, healthy, and happy? And what if I told you could get your dream body by simply just listening to a podcast? I'm Josh.
And I'm KG, and we're the hosts of the Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast.
Listen, we get it. Fitness isn't easy. Carbs, no carbs.
Just stop, okay? It doesn't have to be that complicated. And that's why we made this podcast. We get straight to the facts so you can become your best you.
So the way to check us out is click the link in the show notes or search Fit, Healthy, and Happy podcast on any of the major podcast platforms. We'll see you soon.
Well, I will. Here's another one, which I think this one should kind of put the nail in the coffin for what we're dealing with here and the kind of person that we're kind of dealing with when we have this conversation about Bonnie Blue and specifically how she's predatory. She's not trying to educate people. She's not trying to do anything short of in my personal opinion, as someone who's looking at her, seeing signs of antisocial personality disorder, I think she is a well of pain of whatever type, and she's just lashing it out on everybody that she can. Damage begets damage. That's what I said in that essay I wrote on her on Patreon.
She keeps saying stuff about like education, right? Well, at the end of the day, like, if we needed a more robust educational system for kids around sex and sex positivity and understanding how to have good intimacy, we should be implementing that in schools and in like colleges, not putting it on the internet for anyone to see.
Bingo. Because
regardless of if she's like, oh, you know, this is for this age and above, we all know all kids have access to the internet at some stage. Like, if I wasn't such a hard ass on my kid, she would have had access to the internet a long time ago. And so, and nowhere near the age that she should be.
Yeah.
So
no, it's all this. I think this clip sinks it and proves it. This clip is pretty recent. That her intention is not to educate. It is not to do anything short of create sensation and inflict as much harm on people as she can, whether that's consciously or subconsciously. So we will go ahead and have a listen of that one.
Have you slept with a father and son at the same time?
Yes, yeah. I think that's brilliant. Like, to have that much of a good relationship with your son, or, you know, for the son to have that much of a good connection with their dad, I think it's fantastic. Too many people, especially 18-year-olds, I know when I was at school, would argue with their dads or wouldn't have a good relationship with them. I think to have that much of a good relationship that you can come with your dad to sleep with me is fantastic.
She thinks
this is where it's either you and me on a completely different page, or it's just generations, because I think the father needs his head kicked in for that.
Bingo.
Yeah, like, that's incest. Yeah. That is straight up incest. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And that's not something, you know, that I don't think behaviors like that. If let's just take her out of the equation for a second and you just look at the father and the son. I don't think that's not something that just happens the second the son turns 18. That feels like behavior that kind of escalates, that there's maybe been some unsavory encouragements or things going on in that family.
Straight up.
And now she's encouraging it.
Would involve grooming. That would involve grooming. I'm sorry, but like, cognitively, for an 18-year-old boy to be like, yeah, Dad, let's do this together, that would involve grooming.
Yes.
There's no, I can't.
And she's not even just like accepting of it. She's on a podcast promoting it, proudly promoting it.
She literally said at the start that she has had a father and a son. Yeah. So what?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, I class that as fucking child abuse, man. That she's yes, do it. That's great. This is great. And she's not, but no one's done anything. This is a woman touring campuses where children are having sex with parents and their children together at the same time. And she's just out free. She's just like out free.
You know full well that there's no like pre-promotion that like is in the town to let them know that she's going to be near that college, because God, like, I don't even have kids in college. If I found out that she was in my town, the speed at which I would be down there, like, I would not be able to handle that. No way. Like, if this was a man, this would be predatory. Exactly. If this was a guy saying, yeah, I'll take a mum and a daughter at the same time, ooh.
It's
gross.
It's insane.
Dirty.
It's insane. And there's more clips. I won't dig them out now, but there's more clips of her talking about women as well, as I've kind of mentioned before. And she says, you know, you're fat, you're lazy, your job is to put out for men. And if you don't do that, then your men have a right to come and sleep with someone like me. Just
also, she's a pick-me.
Yeah.
So she's the ultimate pick-me sex worker.
Big time.
Oh.
Predator. Yeah.
Gross.
Absolutely. Like, she wants to inflict harm on women. And that's why she got punched in Sheffield, which I'll get the clip and put that on the Patreon as well. But it was women. It was women that went to her meet and greet. And it was a woman that punched her in the face. And they were both having an encounter with her, telling her what she was doing was so dangerous because she promotes this dangerous mentality of women as sexual disposable items. A woman is nothing but sex, and if she doesn't give you sex, then she's not worth your time and she can just be disposed of. Or once you get sex from a woman, she can be disposed of. What she's doing is inherently more dangerous. And she straight up was like, you're fat and lazy to these girls, and she got punched in the face. Rightfully so, in my personal opinion. Because it's just, this person is a well of malice. She's malicious. Like, this is malicious.
I'm like genuinely stuck on the fact that she's not even, this isn't even sex work. She is being
no, I don't consider this sex work, honestly.
A billboard for predatory behavior.
Yeah. In an age when, you know, the media in
an age where we're in a really tumultuous time in the world, where women are on such a verge of like feminism, if that's what you want to like use the word or terminology, because that's twisted as well in and of itself sometimes. But for lack of better wording, feminism is at such a turning point right now where it can be shattered for anyone's, anyone that's learning about different things could be shattered by something like this, because there's not enough education still with like the general populace on what feminism actually started to do for women in the first place.
Yeah. And it stacks on itself, right? Like, we've got Bonnie Blue, and we're talking about Bonnie Blue right now, but let's imagine that you are a 10 to 15-year-old girl out existing in the world, and you are exposed to Bonnie Blue, and then you hear in a day 3 times Taylor Swift's new song about her boyfriend's like big dick, Tate. And how it opened her eyes and finally made her a good person because her boyfriend has a big dick. That is a factual thing. You can go look it up. The whole song is called that. And then that little girl, after she hears that song 3 times in a day, she's on the bus or she's at home watching TV, and then she sees Sabrina Carpenter bent over getting it 2 ways from 2 men on stage in her lingerie, which is the only thing the woman seems to be able to wear. These things stack up. And then at the same time, she's listening to people like Charlie Kirk on TV who's saying your place is in the home, learning is feminine, like all this crazy, gross, disgusting stuff. All of this stuff stacks is also the thing. It's unfathomable to me that we've somehow, it seems like, I know it hasn't happened at warp speed, it hasn't happened overnight, but it feels like it's happened overnight, where we've gone from like, yes, it was superficial, but like the girl power of the 90s, when there was a lot of sexuality, but it was in a way like women being able to be sexual because they wanted to be sexual. And now, just like overnight, it's just turned into like women are sex dolls and they should be shit on and kicked around. It's nuts.
It's this will be such a weird way for me to frame this, but it's the only way my brain can frame it. It's the same as like after Nazi Germany, not all of the Nazis over in Germany got re-educated and like put through the education they needed to understand that what they were like essentially letting happen in their own country was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, and not to say that, Germany, like the population isn't doing great now. That is what it is, right? But that's like someone's granddad who still spouts racist shit, and then their family is like, oh, that's just granddad.
Exactly.
And that's how these little pockets of extreme ideas build and build and build, and then somehow out of what it feels like out of nowhere, it's everywhere, because we haven't actually educated people enough to go, hey, like this is actually not okay. Like this should be a standard, like age gap on both sides of like the binary system of gender, even just in person on person, like there shouldn't be such a big age gap. I should know. Okay, I'm gonna out myself here. My first child's dad, 20 years older than me, and no one fucking stopped it.
Yeah.
No one said, hey, that's not okay. I'm going to take you out of this situation. They let me have a child with this man. That's not normal. That it shouldn't be normalized.
And that's what it feels like it's being brought back, is that kind of thing. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, so Bonnie Blue, I think that's my biggest issue, other than the predatory thing, is it's like one more building block in this kind of collapse on women that we're currently experiencing.
Yeah. Because like people forget too that like the canary in the coal mine is the trans and disabled community, and they've been screeching it for a long time since like I think 5 years ago is when I first started having like my trans friends be like, hey, this is not okay, something's wrong. And now we're seeing the active in the media byproduct of what happens when you let these like absolutely out the gate women hating, like gender diverse hating.
That's one of the things that I feel like, especially in America, they've gotten really good at getting women to get on board these platforms, white women specifically. I mean, I know we got Candace Owens, but like white women specifically, to get on these platforms and basically hand deliver these messages to other women in the most like malignant,
I'm not shocked that
possible.
I'm not shocked that Bonnie Blue has the name she has as her pseudonym name and is a blonde woman with blue eyes. Like, she's Hitler's wet dream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And those who are outside of the UK may not know this, but she's also got all these like posh, very, very privileged accoutrement, right? Like the way she speaks is that kind of little dog whistle, the way she carries herself.
Oh yeah,
the
she's
literal
got
way
that
she does her hair,
accent.
how she dresses herself, how she carries herself. It's all very much like, you can have and possess this rich white lady. Don't you want to just have and possess her? And it's like just disgusting. And it's
reinforcing that whole idea that like men are taught that they're allowed to have a perfect white picket fence and a freak in the bed and a lady in the street, and she will do whatever you say, and she'll shut up when you tell her to shut up. Like,
interestingly enough, I think Bonnie Blue would have done really, really well in ancient Babylon, because apparently women there, like everyone high class, like all the way up to the queens and the princesses and the harems and stuff. One day out of the year, once you turned a certain age, you had to go dedicate yourself at the temple, and you had to accept any man who came up to you and asked for sex. And it didn't matter. So like when the rich women got in there, the poorest man in the city could have her if he was the first one that got in there and demanded it. Yeah. They had to just put themselves out on the streets and do this as part of their payment
because
to their god.
I seen this a compilation video of like pictures of Bonnie Blue and a few of the people that sort of run in her circles in terms of like supporting her, and like how it was like, we choose to sleep with greasy dudes, blah blah blah, and then it's like it showed images of women from impoverished countries that are being forced into circumstances with greasy, disgusting dudes for no money, for literally their lives, for whatever it may be, And it is a stark difference. It's like these white women are glorifying something that like is people torture. It's literal torture for some people across the planet. Like,
and against their will and everything else. Yeah, no, it's completely disgusting. She wants it to be that way. 10 years ago, she wouldn't have been able to become this popular, because we've gotten to this point now where basically every establishment that exists is championing this kind of view of women, that we are basically what our bodies can offer, and that is it, and that is all.
From what I've learned too about her, like, and from what I've seen, like, she'd be the type of person that would be anti the whole like marital R laws that came in to stop men from forcefully taking their wives.
She's talked about that. Yeah, she thinks that that's ridiculous.
Well, there you go.
She doesn't even think you need to be married. She thinks if you're in a relationship, you are obligated to give it to a man. And she kind of says some things that basically insinuates, even if you're not in a relationship, if a man wants sex from you, you're kind of obligated to give it to him. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I think within the next year, we'll completely hear her promoting our culture. 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like settler colonialism needs that. Yeah. They need that. They need people and women to be indoctrinated into the idea that they are nothing, because that makes it easier, because it cannot survive without something that makes more humans for it. And if you are a uterus owner and you are unlucky enough to be gaslit by settler colonialism, you will end up being a baby maker, and that is terrifying.
Yeah. It's
like, I'm the first person to tell young women, I'm like, you don't have to have kids. if you don't want to. If you enjoy having time to yourself every day and like eating whatever you want and like going out whenever you want and like having a cat at home that like that's all you are responsible for, don't have children. Don't. It's not worth it. You don't have to do it.
Or I fear if for instance they like go through with the PR Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce thing and she eventually gets artificially inseminated and has a child, we're gonna end up back in like children are accessories for my Instagram, even worse than we are now. It's gonna be like when everybody started trying to shit out kids because the Kardashians were having kids.
I know. I know
stuff.
Women can have like babies right up until menopause, right? Like it's actually, it doesn't actually affect. The science is now showing that it's not actually the women that make the baby like at more risk of like, birth issues and, like potential disabilities. Not that that's a bad thing. We love a disabled bitch. I am one, but in terms of like the risks for like pregnancy and stuff like that as well, if a man is over the age of like 30, I think it is, he's the one. It's him. It's his genetic shit that actually fucks things up.
Gotcha.
And I think that is absolutely hilarious. But I'm over here like, isn't Taylor Swift like 40?
She will be. She's about to be 36. She's the same age as me. Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
She's a few years away from 40. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's shocked by that. Everyone keeps going, I thought she was like 25, 27. I'm like, no, that bitch is going to be 40 in less than 5 years.
She has freaking money. She has money.
So I think that you actually had some really good stuff on Bonnie Blue as well that you dug up. I was lazy this week, folks. I will admit it. You probably noticed that last week if you're on the Patreon. It was a lazy week for me, but thankfully we've got Connie who really did the heavy lifting for this episode, finding some stuff on ye old Bonnie Blue. So do you want to take us into some of that?
So right. Like we want to look at like how this is like, okay. If a 25-year-old male porn star with a known count of over 1,000 partners said, I would bed an 18-year-old girl on her birthday, the public reaction would be swift and severe.
I also forgot about that part, all the partners.
Immediately be labeled as a predator, a creeper, gross, someone who preys on the young and inexperienced, okay? Yeah. That to me is accurate, right? Yeah. But a lot of people will focus entirely on the power imbalance like in the wrong way, right? For Bonnie, right? Mm-hmm. She's just being edgy. It's a part of her brand of sexual liberation, empowering the young person. Ooh, and it's not that. It's not that. That's harmful. It's a double standard. Like the behavior is identical. If this was a man, we would say gross, but for a woman, we're like, this is sexually free. And I think that is massive. Like, this is something that people need to hammer home. Like, if we're not actively holding people accountable, especially when the age gap is purposeful, it's purposeful age gap on her. Like,
she said it over and over and over again.
Oh, there's multiple videos. We've seen multiple videos, right? Like, okay, let's play a game, right? I'm going to say a sentence and you tell me if it's from a podcast guest or a villain on Law and Order SVU. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
I'd definitely sleep with an 18-year-old on their birthday. See what I did there? It's on both.
Right. Is
it's
it?
On Bonnie Blue and literally on SVU episode. I shit you not.
Is it really? I was like, that's going to be Bonnie Blue. And then I went, wait, this feels like it's going to be a trick. Oh my God.
Nope. For real. Wow. And like, yeah, I know. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, so according to the unwritten rules of society, if a man seeks a barely legal partner, it's because he's predatory and can't handle an equal woman of his own age. And if a woman does it, it's because she's competent. A mentor. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to see this fucking rule book everyone's playing by because the pages seem to be written in invisible ink that only appears when it's held up to a man's eyes. Because what?
That's brilliant. I love that.
As a parent, right, if my kid was 25 years old and said to me, oh, I started dating an 18-year-old, I'd be like, no, you fucking ain't. No, you fucking not.
Not today, you're not. No. Not in this lifetime. You. Not while I'm alive.
No. God, no. Like my oldest daughter has older siblings. They're about to be 21. I had to explain to them, like, hey guys, I was your age when I had your sister. And the look on their faces was of pure shock. They were like, holy crap, I could never have a kid. And I said to them, yeah, it's because you're not traumatized on the same level as I was. And this is where like there's either Bonnie Blue is like so tremendously traumatized from a young age, right, to be able to put herself through this, or she's a fucking sociopath who has dead eyes. And I'm going for the latter, because you don't actively say all this stuff over and over again unless, like, is there someone else in the background paying for something? Like, is there someone else
there has to be
on
backers.
top of, like, because like we know full well, right, that like with Mormons, with their like trad wife content that they put on YouTube and stuff, in terms of ad revenue, right, Mormons will pay, like the church will pay for specific ads and stuff to play, and they'll pay more. They'll pay more than the normal ad rate, so that the person who's doing the videos, the Mormon family or whatever, gets more money.
Yeah.
Right. So who's to say that there's not a benefactor somewhere paying for the most extreme top tier that Bonnie will charge on her OnlyFans or whatever, you know?
Absolutely. There has to be. There absolutely has to be.
I seen this one video where they were, she was mentioning, you know, how she has multiple houses and an accountant,
got like 5, 6
and
houses and all this stuff.
And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Like, who's helping afford that? Because I know a lot of women that do OnlyFans can earn a good amount of money and good publicity and regular content and all that sort of stuff like that. I understand that there is lucrative money there, but to own that many properties in England,
where it's expensive as hell.
It is so expensive over there.
So expensive.
And by judging by the way she looks, dresses, behaves, speaks, she's not buying cheap houses. She's not buying a flip house that's going to make her more money. Or, you know, she's not going to have somewhere that has tenants that aren't above a certain pay grade, because she won't want that.
Yeah, that could be true. I think she's got backers 100%. I don't think you end up on the biggest morning shows in the United Kingdom, and you end up like with the fact that her first little stunt went so viral that it ended up advertised on every freaking social media platform that exists. I 100% think that was a part of a machine, whatever media machine, who is funded probably by the Koch brothers and whoever's fucking funding Nigel Farage and all the rest of these right-wing fucking bullshit. Somebody put that out there and promoted and paid for the airtime and paid for the space for that to go out there. 100%. I've always believed that. I've always believed that. It's too in sync with the people who are in power now to be a coincidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Because like when I was reading like some of the articles, the way that the number of men was sensationalized quite a bit, I was like, this can't be real. And then you go see the videos of her actively saying, 1,057. And I'm like, what? That was real? They weren't, this wasn't you were legit?
Yeah, it's Unhinged doesn't even cut it. And I don't know with her. I don't know if she could be so traumatized. She either had such an insanely violent, sexual, traumatized childhood that she's turned into this, or she's a few clicks short of a full dial. You know what I mean? Like she was
we could even go down the addiction route, right? Yeah. Like there's a potential for her to literally have an addiction to this kind of fame.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't matter if you have bad parents or good parents, addiction can literally hit anybody, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if you're addicted to a certain amount of attention, you will do whatever the fuck you can to continue to get that attention. We see that with a lot of fucking pop stars all the fucking time. They will do literally anything, say anything, be anything, just to get in the spotlight. And this is reeking of that. And we know sociopaths and crazy motherfuckers like that are addicted to being in the limelight. Like Ted Bundy loved having the camera on him, loved the attention, loved being spoken to.
He was in the Republican Party. He was a member of the Republican Guard. He was trying to run for office. Ted Bundy was.
No shot there.
So was
oh
Gacy.
my God.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I think it's very that there's the addiction to it, but it fits the psychopath thing to me there as well, right? Because they don't get the same emotional experiences that we as people with relatively normal brains, right? Have.
Even a narcissist being called out in the moment will have an intense reaction to something. She has no reactions.
She doesn't react to anything.
No reactions.
Even after she got punched, there was not really a reaction, which is crazy. Like, you see her get punched and she's just like, she punched me. There's not like, oh, what did you do? There's none of that. It's just very much like covering her face, just leave the bar.
Yeah, not even shock and silence. There's just a response of, oh, she punched me. Like, bitch, what are you doing?
It's not, even when she talked about it the next day, she's like, yeah, you guys have some fat slags in Sheffield. That's just, there was you could tell she didn't even really care. She just knew she had to say something about it, and she didn't want to say, oh, yes, I got punched. Yeah, so yeah, slags. Yeah. She's like, you have a bunch of fat slags. Yeah.
It reminds me of like a town here in Aotearoa that uses the word gannet as a derogatory term, which I just think is funny.
That's brilliant. I love this, like, your side of the world. It's really good. But yeah, she's a danger. I just hate seeing this, what it reinforces, what it encourages, and what's going to suck is there's little girls watching her that are going to slip through the cracks and think this is the way to be, and they are going to grow up to be someone like this in 10, 20 years. Not on TV necessarily.
It's the men. It's the reinforcing into 18-year-old children like that they are allowed to treat women like this, because like she turned around and was like, I'm educating, don't you want your sons to be and it's like, no, because you're not educating them to be respectful. You're literally saying that they should have unlimited access to a body at all times.
They're entitled, which leads to rape culture, right? Because if you say a man is entitled to sex, then it means he's allowed to have it when he wants it because it's his. It's not yours to give.
And that's what I worry about. Like, of course, I'm worried about young girls and young people that are super impressionable, but like young men, like once they grab onto something, it is so hard to wheel them back around.
That's exactly
like it is. You've got, young boys that are right up there, like up the arse of Andrew Tate, and they would probably love Bonnie Blue.
Oh my God, yeah, she very much reinforces everything. She went on. She was with Andrew Tate. They did a thing together. They already appeared together.
I had no idea. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I actually think he didn't like her, but she was pretty much reinforcing everything he said when she was
because he doesn't want to pick me. Yeah. He wants a legit broken woman that will be subservient and shut up. She is she's loud and proud about it. That's too much for him. He wants a mouse. He wants a mouse. That's why he's literally hide in the corner.
Which we'll have to have a conversation about the sex trafficking hole that I fell down with that's tied to Hollywood and Romania. It's a whole thing. There's a huge Romanian politician who's been going to these celebrity parties all over Europe and providing women.
Well, it only took me about 10 minutes of research when I first found out about Andrew Tate to find his actual place, like that he was living in Romania. So it's not hard to find that motherfucker.
We'll have another conversation. We'll have to do another episode about these fuckers. But yeah, Bonnie Blue, I think we've kind of summed it up here. I think that's, the gist of it. It's the predatory behavior. It's not that she's a woman doing sex work. That's fine. Go out and have as much sex with as many people as you want to do. If you want to bang a whole football team and you're an adult with a fully formed frontal lobe, you know what I mean? And that's what you want to do it. That's great. That's excellent. Film it if you want to. Put it on your OnlyFans. That's fine. Just maybe don't target children, on purpose as someone with sexual experience and a full brain.
Targeting.
Actively targeting children while at the same time doing everything you can to lash out and inflict as much damage as possible on children, on young women, on young men, everybody you can get your hands on. And that is, she's so many dangerous things. Some of these men are going to lose jobs. They're not going to be able to support themselves. They're going to get turned into desperate situations because guess what? They're on tape having sex with Bonnie Blue. And that is forever. It is forever. Their wives are going to see that. Their children are going to see that. Like, that's
crazy.
Yeah, she's setting a lot of people up for failure, herself included, because this doesn't end well. There's
it's a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah,
it's a snake eating its own tail at this point.
Yeah. but I guess we'll see what happens. If you want to see the clips that we shared here today, or you want to learn more about Bonnie Blue, you can head over to patreon.com/Nooska. I have an essay up there on Bonnie Blue, Damage Begets Damage, which goes more into kind of like my theories on some of the trauma we might be looking at and overall how this might affect us as a society. And I also have the clips up from TikTok and other places which show, these little conversations that Bonnie likes to have about being a predator in her own words. So if you would like to do that and help support us to grow this podcast, head over to patreon.com/Nooska. And other than that, keep listening. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and all that good stuff. Same thing, just look for Nooska and it'll be right there. And that's about it. Connie, do you want to say anything else? Any parting words of wisdom?
I mean, no, because every time I hear the word Nooska, I have the Sega sound in my head, and it's like Nooska.
Oh, that's excellent. We should get someone to make that. We need to get someone to make that into a jingle.
Yeah, if anyone's listening out there that's good with music,
make us a jingle, please. Help us. Help us. Also, if anybody wants to animate these, that would be great, because neither one of us want to show our faces because we have had to do too much of that, and it sucks, and it would just be fun to be animated. So someone animate us, please animate us.
Do that.
All right, everybody, thank you so much. We will be back next week with another great episode. It's going to be a little bit more chill next week. We're going to be talking a little bit about fiction and stories and how we as humans tell stories to kind of help our lives and help each other. So hopefully you will be back for that episode next week.
I will.
We'll see you there, everywhere that you listen to your podcasts. So we'll talk to you later. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.